yung mga nire-review nito, ito, every confirmed major MMORPG coming 2026. Maganda yung nire-review niya. Sobrang ganda niya. Alam kong hindi siya magpapatok sa Asia.
What's up, everyone?
Pero panoorin pa rin natin.
Genre has been
Baka may
in
magustuhan tayo.
a bit of a weird place for a few years now. We keep getting these major MMO announcements, these flashy trailers, and then that whole like, this might be the one energy being channeled. And then a lot of those games either launched really soft, get buried under monetization, or they just quietly fade into obscurity. But right now, things are actually starting to look a little bit interesting again. We've got Aion 2 launching very soon.
Ayun, Aion 2. Mukhang ito may pag-asa to sa Asia, pero medyo langan pa rin to.
We have a confirmed...
sa lahat sa tingin ko sa lahat na to, parang Aion to na may pinakapag-asa tsaka tong Guild Wars 3.
Guild Wars 3, a full adaptation of the Lord of Mysteries MMO, plus a bunch of other projects that honestly range from, you know what, maybe this could be big to, this is still kind of early, but I also want to kind of keep an eye on it. Today, I'm going to go ahead and go through the next major MMOs coming in 2026 and 2027. I'm going to cover what's real, what's still early, and which ones...
Tingnan natin yung tingin natin, predict natin yung mga possible dito na tumagal sa Asia. Since ang viewers natin more on Pilipinas talaga, matik yun, Pilipino, Tagalog. At check natin dito yung tingin natin na magiging, based lang sa experience ko boss based sa nangyari sa Throne. Yung Throne, ang ganda nung Throne eh. Parang maganda lang ng konti yung Aion 2 kung tatanungin. Pero hindi ibig sabihin dahil maganda ng konti yung Aion 2, mas magiging successful ng konti yung Pwedeng maging successful yung Aion 2 dito, pwedeng hindi rin. Pero tingin ko nandun ako sa negative side eh. Sa ngayon pre. Pero tatry natin yung Aion 2.
Actually have a semblance of a...
Ano siya boss sorry, baka ma-misinterpret nyo. Negative siya side sa akin as content creator kasi ang hirap, sobrang hirap niyang i-hype dito sa Pilipinas. Kumbaga kung lalaruin ko siya sa live, magagaya siya dun sa stream natin ng Throne na nung time na yun nag-average tayo 150 to 200 sa Night Crows. Nung nag-Throne Liberty tayo ng 2 days, swerte na umabot tayong 50. Tapos mga solid pa natin yon from... Oy, Jelowy, thank you. From Night Crows. Kasalanan kasi ng Amazon Games yan, Duj. Ngayon, sinuko na ng Amazon Games ang Throne Liberty at Lost Ark. Yung tinanggal kasi nila yung auto sa Throne eh. Sayang eh. Tingin ko sana kahit auto lang. Kahit hindi na ma-meet yung dalawa. Ang dalawa kasi inahanap eh. May auto at saka play to earn. So kahit sana yung may auto na lang para hindi siya laruin kasi ang lalaro ng yung dalawang yon, ang naglagi naghahanap nun is yung gustong kumita, yung mga tinatawag nating bigas boys, tsaka yung pagod na. So yung parang alam mo yun, may ginagawang iba bukod sa paglalaro. So konti yung oras nila maglaro.
Chance of sticking around. So let's just go ahead and get into it.
Oo, totoo yan. Hindi patok sa Western players yung auto tsaka pay to win. Kaya pansinin nyo pre, sobrang ganda ng, bibigay kayo ng sample ng game na magaganda recently. Wukong, wala. Ang ganda ng Wukong pre. Wala kayong makitang content creator ng ng Wukong na Pilipino. Merong naglaro pero kakaunti lang din yung viewers. Oo nga daw, sabi nga.
We're going to start with Aion 2. This is the one that's closest to release. Aion 2 is launching globally on PC this September through Steam and NC Zone.
Next month na pala to.
It's already been live in Korea and Taiwan since November 2025, so this isn't a complete mystery box. We actually have months worth of live data and player feedback to look at. The core fantasy is still the same as the original Aion. You're a Deva with wings, and flight isn't just a travel tool, it's actually baked into the combat. The world is significantly larger than the first game, and verticality is treated as a core design pillar rather than an afterthought. Fights are designed around three-dimensional movement, positioning, and aerial engagements. This is actually something that a lot of OG Aion...
Hindi. Yun nga yung point ko, boss. Yun nga yung point ko. Kumbaga, sobrang konti ng mga market na kahit maganda yung game, sobrang konti talaga ng maglalaro niya. Based sa experience ko, boss. Mas marami pa nga yata naglaro ng Black with Wook. Kasi yung MMO, sobrang niche yan eh. Kumbaga, maglalaro lang talaga ng Throne yung mga nag-MMO. Pero yung maglalaro ng Wukong, hindi lang nag-MMO, yung iba naglalaro ng Dota, baka nag-i-Street Fighter or kung ano man. Kumbaga mas malaki yung reach dapat ng Wukong. So expect nyo na dapat sobrang laki ng comparison ng Wukong compare sa Throne and Liberty. Pero eto, tingnan nyo to. Sila Gloco na yan pre. Pinakamalalaking content creator na yan dito sa Pilipinas sa gaming. 1 year ago 17K. Sila Gloco na yan, ha? 9.3k.
What's going on?
8.7k. Nakikita nyo yun?
Aray!
Kumbaga, naipon na yan. Matagal na yan. 1 year na yan. Kahit pa paano, may nadagdag yan after nung stream. Tapos bukod dyan, sikat yan sila Gloco. 1.26 million yung subscriber. Magka-casual lang talaga tayo sa Aion to. Pero maglalaro ko niyan, hindi ko lang sure kung kaya ko siyang isabay ng stream.
Players wanted.
Oo, yun nga eh. Yun na nga boss eh. Kumbaga sobrang ganda na nga nung Wukong, hindi pa rin siya nilaro ng Asia. Meron naglaro sa Asia niyan, yung talagang siguro yung mga gamer na mayayaman talaga.
Myself included. I can only imagine how much fun this would have been in the Abyss back in the day. They're launching with 8 different classes of Gladiator.
Pero ito isipin nyo, ano yung market na nawala agad do sa Wukong? Yung mga naglalaro ng play to earn na bumibigas, matik yun, matik yun. 90 to 95% hindi maglalaro ng Black Myth Wukong. Kapag yun ang ginagawa nila sa MMO, mag-play to earn. Hindi naman masama yun kasi isa naman talaga yun sa, kumbaga bagong ori ng gamer yun eh. Mga play to earner, mga bigasin, mga bigas boys, ganun. Normal naman yun, normal na yun sa atin. May bayad kasi Wukong boss. Yun na nga boss. Pero kung titingnan, yun pa, isa pa yun. Isa pa yun pre. May bayad. Ngayon, kung mag-aayon to ka, paano ka makakapag-trade? May bayad din yun. So ibig sabihin, kung hindi mo kaya magbayad sa Wukong, masama sa loob mong magbayad sa Wukong, medyo masama rin sa'yo magbayad sa game na subscription base. Although hindi naman direct subscription base tong Aion to, magsusubscription ka lang sa kanya, mag-avail ka lang ng subscription pag magte-trade ka. Kung sa madali salita, if sa Pinoy yan, hihintayin pa, makrack. Kasi di kaya ng mga players na Pinoy yan kasi demanding sa PC. Actually boss, sa panahon ngayon kaya na dapat yan eh. Kaya na yan. Meron tayong kaguild si Aqua. Tingin ko nasa ganun na yung level ng mga PC ng mga normal na tao. Pero hindi yung mga normal na tao na nasa Metro Manila, ganyan. Pero meron pa rin syempre hindi. Mas marami pa rin hindi. Compare sa ibang bansa. Bigat ng Wukong sa PC nila at kaya requirements. So isa rin nga rin yun. Isa rin talaga yun. Pero mabigat din yung throne ha. And tingin ko medyo mabigat ng Aion to. Hindi ko alam requirements ng Aion to. Pero check natin. Pero lalaruin ko yung Aion to guys. Baka makikisabay ako dyan.
Templar, Assassin, Ranger, Sorcerer, Spirit Master, Cleric, Enchanter. The PvE structure looks pretty traditional. There's a lot of solo content. There are 4-player dungeons, 8-player raids. There's also open world PvP, large-scale battles. The biggest question mark, I think, for Western players is the monetization. The Korean version has already drawn some criticism for how aggressive the cash shop and progression systems can feel. NC has stated that they are adjusting things for the global version, but
Sa global, ang hindi nang alam ko eh. Sa global, parang babawasan nila yung pay to win eh.
we've heard that line before with other Korean MMOs. I personally will believe it when the shop is actually live and we can see the numbers. Still, pure systems and presentation wise, Aion 2 looks like one of the more complete traditional theme park MMOs.
Yun yung sinasabi ko sa inyo guys. Wag na kayong kumbaga, okay lang naman na mangarap na may lalabas pang MMO na hindi pay to win. Pero isipin nyo saan manggagaling yung funding. Feeling ko, konti yung hindi masyadong malaki yung pera if magsusubscribe ka lang kapag magte-trade ka. So ibig sabihin, hindi every month nang gustong mag-support sa game, obligadong mag-subscribe para suportahan yung game. Kasi minsan wala ka namang ite-trade. As F2P, magte-trade ka niyan kapag tingin mo talaga mas lamang yung kita mo compare dun sa isusubscribe mo.
Had in a while. If they don't
Makakalaro nyo dito. Marami maglalaro nito pero hindi Asia pre. Promise ko sa inyo yan. Tingin ko talaga yan. Madiskarte kasi mga Pinoy P. Kaya pag mga ganyan laro pass. Hindi siya madiskarte pre. Pero kasi nga pre, nasanay na tayo na kapag naglalaro tayo, dapat possible tayong kumita. Nasanay na kasi tayo doon. Hindi naman dati ganun eh. Dati laro ka lang kasi nag-e-enjoy ka. So lalaruin mo yung may mga naglalaro ng World of Warcraft, may mga naglalaro ng Dota, hanggang ngayon may nagdo-Dota pa rin. Pero on point boss, dumating kasi yung time sa atin na lumabas yung Axie nang naging mindset ng tao, naglalaro ako, kumikita ako. So ngayon, yun na yung feeling na hinahanap ng mga tao. Na possible ka pa palang kumita ng pera habang naglalaro. Kumbaga, yun eh. Hitting two birds with one stone. Naglalaro ka at the same time kumikita ka. Parang nagiging part na ng trabaho mo or additional income mo yung paglalaro mo. Ang sarap sa tayo nun, laro. yung laro dapat single lang yan eh. Laro for entertainment. Ngayon, yung laro sa'yo, entertainment plus financial.
Don't completely butcher the economy. This right here could have some real staying power. Next is the one that actually made a lot of people sit up and pay attention. Yeah. Guild Wars 3, which was officially announced at the Summer Game Fest in 2026, after 14 years of Guild Wars 2, ArenaNet is finally making a proper sequel. The first beta is scheduled for fall 2027, and it's coming to both PC and the PlayStation 5. The first time a mainline Guild Wars game will launch
Guild
onto
Wars to. Ito hindi ko talaga ano tong Guild Wars.
console. It's buy to play, there's no subscription, there's no battle pass. I've been pretty clear about respecting player time and not locking progression behind daily grinds or FOMO systems.
Siguro may lalaroin ako Aion to pa rin, pre. Parang hindi ko masyadong trip yung Guild Wars.
Setting is ancient or
pero sabi nila maganda daw eh.
years before the events of the previous games. This means that both longtime fans and complete newcomers start on relatively even ground story-wise. From the trailer and the way that the studio head Colin Johansson talked about it, combat is being built around momentum and movement. It doesn't look like a straight Guild Wars 2 clone. They're trying to push the genre forward while keeping that ArenaNet identity. One of the strongest signals to me is that they're continuing to support Guild Wars 2 and even the original Guild Wars, which is also now going under Reforged. While developing this, most studios would just shift a large majority of their resources to the new title. ArenaNet is explicitly stating that they can run all three in parallel. That level of commitment is very rare.
Tatlo yung mini-maintain nila.
Is the highest upside of anything on this list for Western audiences. This one has a lot
Sa bagay, Western talaga yung audience niya, no?
of potential that I don't think enough people in the West are really paying attention to yet. Lord of Mysteries is an MMORPG adaptation of the extremely popular Chinese web novel of the same name. It's developed by Spark Nexa and is launching into mainland China on August 21st, 2026 for PC, Android, and iOS with full crossplay functionality. A global version is confirmed, but no firm date has been announced yet other than at some point in 2026. The setting is a Victorian Gothic world mixed with occult and cosmic horror elements. Instead of traditional classes, the game uses the novel's pathways and the Beyonder system. You progress through sequences of power that change how your character plays and what abilities you unlock. It's a pretty unique progression structure for an MMO.
Ganda rin, no?
Visually, it's running on Unreal
Pero parang skill-based na skill-based, no?
Engine 5, and it does look very good. The source material has an enormous following. The Donghua, which is a Chinese anime, did incredibly well, and the gameplay trailers have shown very fun, very interactive, and very engaging combat. A lot of great areas, lots of exploration.
Skill-based nga. Chinese nga daw, boss. Lord of Mysteries. Galing sa Chinese nga na novel.
And some very challenging boss design. If the systems feel this good and the global version doesn't get heavily watered down or overloaded with monetization,
Korean na MMO,
a
no?
genuine sleeper hit. Cinder City is NCSoft's other big 2026 project.
Ito bagong-bago sa mata ko to, pre. Barilan na MMO. MMO, di ba?
Developed by Big Fire Games. This one is more of a cinematic open world third-person shooter with MMO elements rather than a full traditional MMORPG. You guys might remember from when I covered it years ago as Project LLL. It's set in a post-apocalyptic version of Soul where players take on the role of Cinder Knights, fighting against mutated creatures, criminal organizations, and other hostile factions. The tone is closer, I think, a little bit to the Division or a more grounded Destiny-style shared world shooter, but with a very strong narrative focus around a character searching for their daughter. It's still targeting a 2026 launch and is currently
parang Once Human nga. Meron na pala ito dati. Oo nga, Once Human nga, pre.
Pre-alpha test in North America. The world is seamless. Multiplayer PvE is a core pillar, and the presentation looks cinematic. Whether it ends up feeling like a true MMO or more of a live service shooter will depend on how deep the systems go after launch. Either way, it's one of the more
Naalala ko lang, pre. Nung time na naglalabas yung Once Human, sobrang putok nung Night Crows nun. So may mga kalaro kami nun na nag-Once Human, pre. So ang end up, pre. Di ba nga galing sila sa Night Crows? So sanay sila na kapag nakapulot kami ng item, higher seal, meron silang salary doon. So nasanay sila doon. Ngayon, nung naglaro sila ng Once Human, alam nilang, tanggap nila na walang play to earn or play to earn dito. Ang problema naman, boss, para silang na bad trip or ano ba magandang word, para silang nalungkot or na-disappoint. Parang disappoint sila, hindi dahil hindi sila kumikita sa game, through loots, kundi dahil boss, walang kumuha sa kanila as pilot. Doon, kasi meron kaming 5 yung lumipat. from Nightcross papunta dito, isa yung naging pilot. So yun pa rin, kumbaga yun pa rin, naglalaro sila para kumita, kadugtong pa rin siya sa word na play to earn. Ang nag-stay pa rin dun sa 5 na yun, pre dun sa nag-stay sa 5 yun, tandaan nyo, bago sila pumasok ng Once Human, tanggap nila na hindi play to earn yung lalaroin nila. So okay lang, kung di sila mag-earn doon, lalaroin nila yon. Tandaan nyo yun. Ngayon, nung dumating yung time na yung isa doon, nakahanap ng pilot galing sa ibang bansa, so nag-earn siya ng pera, alam nyo kung ano nangyari? Siya lang yung natira, yung 4 nag-quit. So ibig sabihin, may epekto pa rin talaga na kapag nag-earn ka sa game sa Asia, at the same time naglalaro ka, may additional motivation ka para mag-stay sa game. Hindi lang din siya pilot na may sarili siyang account.
Interesting non-fantasy projects in the pipeline. Chrono Odyssey has been through multiple delays and a significant systems rework after very mixed beta feedback. The current
yung actually mga boss, yung yan, yung play to earn na style na yan ng MMORPG. Yan parang blessing tsaka curse yan Sobrang blessing niya sa content creator kasi ang daling i-hype ng mga game na pwede mong i-title paano kumita sa Nightcross, paano kumita sa Legend of Ymir. Ano ang dapat gawin para kumita sa Legend of Ymir? Paano i-cash out ang kinita sa Legend of Ymir? Sobrang dali niyang dagdagan ng additional layer ng content. Hindi lang yung yung best item, yung paano tapusin yung boss. Meron kang another na content na pwedeng gawing content dun sa laro na yon. Kaya mas tumatagal yung game na yon and mas madali siyang i-hype. Kasi matik yun, lagi may nagso-search how to earn, ganyan. Kasi sa ibang bansa, how to earn in ganyan, how to earn in ganito. So, yung mga naglaro nun para kumita, matik yun, papanoorin ka nila, hindi dahil magaling ka maglaro, kundi gusto nilang malaman kung paano ka kumikita sa laro.
Target is the second quarter of 2027. For now, the big unique selling point is time manipulation. You can use temporal abilities in combat, exploration, and puzzle solving. It's an action-oriented open-world MMORPG built in Unreal Engine 5, and it's coming to PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X.
Pero kung sa ganda lang, iwan yung mga play to earn, pre. Legit. Ilan lang ang magandang play to earn talaga. Bibihira. The rest parang laro sa mga Y8. Parang pinagtripan kayo na magandang game to, manguhuli kayo ng isda, tapos after ilang months, wala na maglalaro nung nanguhuli ng isda, isasara na lang nila yung game.
Genuinely very cool. The visuals always looked great. The problem has been that earlier tests just didn't fully deliver on that whole gameplay fantasy. The extra development time is a good sign if they're actually using it to fix core issues rather than just polishing the surface. This one still has high potential, but it's also high risk until
pero mas gusto ko yung barilan, Cinder City.
ArcheAge Chronicle, formerly known as ArcheAge 2.
Mir 4 pa rin, boss, mechanics-wise at PvP. Siguro sa'yo, boss. Magkakaiba kasi ang tao Kumbaga, hindi mo pwedeng sabihin mas maganda yung card game versus mga MOBA sa lahat ng tao. Merong mas magagandahan sa card game, for example mga Yu-Gi-Oh ganyan, kaysa sa mga Dota. Meron din magagandahan sa Dota versus sa Yu-Gi-Oh, mga card game. Same sa'yo, mas gusto mo yung mga laro na magalaw sa MMO. Meron namang mga laro which is yung Nightcross naman, building game naman siya. Kumbaga stats game siya. May ika-counterin mo lang kung magpapataas ka ng stats na to, anong mangyayari, ganyan, hindi sila tatama sa'yo or tatama ka, mahook mo sila or mai-stun mo sila. Kumbaga, hindi umiikot sa atin yung mundo na hindi porket eto yung nagandahan tayo, mauobligay yung mga tao na magandahan doon sa nagagandahan tayo. Kahit hindi gamer, nagiging gamer na. Oo, boss, isipin yun. Nung nalaman nila na merong kumikita as streamer sa Mobile Legends, dami lumabas. Tatay Gaming, Nanay Gaming. Pag pinanood mo naman yung laro, kaya mong talunin kahit one hand lang.
Is still aiming for a fourth quarter 2026 release. It's a buy-to-play action MMORPG from XL Games and Kakao Games featuring land, sea, and air exploration with a focus on multiplayer agency in a living world. It carries a lot of the sandbox DNA from the original more modern combat and presentation. It has been relatively quiet outside of some focus group testing, but the fourth quarter window is still holding for now. If it launches clean and avoids the usual launch disasters that have hit similar titles and the pay-to-win that was very prevalent in the original ArcheAge, it could carve out a solid niche for players who want more freedom than a pure theme park MMO. Embers of the Uncrowned.
Hindi boss, walang choice yun. Nakita ko yan, walang choice yan. Talagang may kapansanan yata yan eh. Parang nakita ko dati yan.
Sounds isometric dark fantasy MMORPG. It had a playable demo during Steam Next Fest earlier this year, and the feedback was honestly better than a lot of people expected. You're rebuilding a noble house after an elven invasion has devastated the continent. The combat felt fast and gory from an isometric perspective with 3 main classes, the Spectral Blade.
Ay, ito mas trip ko yung ganito. Mas trip ko tong ganito, hindi masyadong komplikado, parang ang smooth lang lagi. Kapag yung isometric ka, medyo parang nakikita ko siya na mas chill siyang laruin. Kahit masyadong maraming galaw, parang mas chill siya.
Executioner and the Stormbringer. There's a house building and territory control system, companion mechanics, and a clear focus on multiplayer content. They've stated that the game will not sell power. Progression and gear will be earnable through gameplay. There is no firm release date yet, but it is further along than a lot of the vaporware projects we usually see. This one feels more mid-tier, I think, than AAA, but it has a clear identity and could find an audience if they stick the landing. Terra 2 is real, but it's also very
Nahanap ko kasi yung Lord Nine Phils
have been actively hiring for an Unreal Engine 5 action MMORPG sequel to Terra. The original shut down its PC servers back in 2022, so a lot of fans have been waiting for any sign of a revival. Right now, there is no trailer, there's no gameplay, there's no release window, just job postings and confirmation that development is underway. This is one to bookmark rather than to get hyped about yet. The action combat MMOs with strong class identity still have a following, and Terra had a very distinctive style. Whether they can recapture that and avoid the usual live service pitfalls remains to be seen. Prism 2033 is a futuristic parallel universe MMORPG from Cyberness Entertainment. It was announced earlier in 2026 and is planned for PC and mobile. The setting revolves around Flux City, a hub that connects different parallel worlds. You play as an investigator working for a civilian organization, jumping between realities that have their own environments, rules, and conflicts. They're leaning very heavily into AI-driven NPCs, dynamic world systems, and a design that supports shorter play sessions instead of forcing
MMO to, parang hindi na siya MMO,
There's
no?
no release date yet. The AI focus will either be a genuine innovation, kind of like how Where Winds Meet and Sword of Justice handled it, or it is going to be a red flag depending on how well it's implemented. It's still very early, but the concept is different enough from the usual fantasy MMOs that it's worth watching. So if I had to rank here pure interest and potential right now,
Aion to Guild Wars 3, Cinder City, Lord of Mysteries.
Wars 3 is the number one. It has the highest upside, the strongest studio track record in the West, followed by Aion 2. This is the closest and most complete package. Then Lord of Mysteries. It has a lot of unique systems and a strong IP with millions of followers around the world. Then Chrono Odyssey, which has one of the coolest core concepts, but is still a very high-risk game. Then ArcheAge Chronicles and Embers of the Uncrowned. These are solid mid-tier contenders. And Cinder City, Terra 2, Prism 2033. They're all interesting, but none of them are close to releasing yet. The next year and a half is actually looking pretty stacked for the first time in a while. Whether any of these games manage to hold a healthy population long-term is a real test. But hey, at least we're getting real projects with actual development progress instead of just concept art and empty promises. Which one are you guys most looking forward to? Drop it down in the comment section. I'm especially curious how many of you are actually hyped for Lord of Mysteries or Cinder City, since those two feel a little bit...
Aion to talaga yan. I think Lord's gonna be good. Aion to Guild Wars 2, GB, Guild Wars 3. Aion to will be great if they support. Oh, marami talaga naghahanap na nito eh. Madami maglalaro nito kasi yun nga, free to play siya. Cinder City, I need the looter shooter. Pero ako dito, Aion to. Aion to muna talaga. Tapos try natin yung Guild Wars 3. Then skip na yung mga susunod, tapos Cinder City na. So abangan natin to soon, mga